If there's one work Zack Snyder continues to be proud of, it's this zombie apocalypse movie that no one expected to become a successful cult classic. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. This May, Netflix offers new shows to keep subscribers entertained throughout the month, and one of the titles added to its library is Zack Snyder's 2004 horror flick Dawn of the Dead. Those who haven't watched this classic, consider this your sign. Zack Snyder is quite the controversial filmmaker of modern cinema. We're familiar with his stylized approach to movies, and he's made a brand of that for himself, but one of the biggest criticisms in his works is his own inconsistency. It's safe to say that he is sort of the hit-and-miss type of director. He is widely known for his efforts on the DCU and the 300 franchise, but many sometimes forget he was also the one behind the zombie apocalypse title, Dawn of the Dead. This was his directorial debut and, surprisingly, the best work of his career. Such reverence to the original movie would bring so much pressure on Snyder to make a worthy remake. Fortunately, he was able to pull this off and create a masterpiece of his own while honoring his inspiration. As mentioned, Dawn of the Dead is Snyder's most acclaimed project to this day for several reasons. It's interesting because many believe it should not work at all, for several reasons as well. First, this was a remake of George A. Romero's 1978 movie of the same title. That one was highly lauded by fans and critics, even hailed as one of the best zombie stories ever made. Snyder was aware he made a project that he would be proud of for the rest of his life. He did not expect it would blow up and become a cult classic, but here it is. In a conversation with Den of Geek, he expressed utter satisfaction with what he created. There's nothing I would change because it's very much the movie I made at the time and it completely satisfied what I was trying to do. The thing I'm proudest of is that, even though it was a genre film made for a studio and low budget, I still feel like I made an unexpected movie. The director admitted that this project taught him a lesson that he still applies to his works today. Tone is everything. Once he's able to set this, the rest will follow through. In 2021, Snyder returned to his roots and released Army of the Dead, although this was not received well by fans. The filmmaker has a knack for dark themes in his storytelling, which he applies in his works even if they aren't suited. Take Man of Steel, for instance. He could have been contemplating what would happen if a classic superhero like Superman started exploring his own darkness. Perhaps Snyder should have stuck making horror flicks as he seemed to be very comfortable in this genre, and it complements his own style, too. To this day, Dawn of the Dead remains his highest-rated title on Rotten Tomatoes with a current 77% approval rating from both critics and audience. Warner Brothers almost brought in Michael Bay to direct Man of Steel 2, nearly swapping Snyder's brooding vision for explosive mayhem. Yeah, it got wild. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. Warner Brothers almost swapped Zack Snyder for Michael Bay in Man of Steel 2. Back in 2022, the studio eyed Bay to direct a new Superman film starring Henry Cavill, before James Gunn took the reins for the upcoming reboot launching the DCU on July 11th. At one point, Warner Brothers considered blowing up everything we knew about Man of Steel, literally. While Zack Snyder had shaped the Superman mythos with his gritty style, the studio reportedly flirted with the idea of bringing in none other than Michael Bay for the sequel. It would have been a radical tonal shift, swapping slow-mo brooding for Bayhem. Though it never materialized, the thought alone explains just how unhinged the studio was in its search for a new direction post-Snyder. The cape stayed, but the vision nearly got nuked. The stakes are huge. This film kicks off a 10-year interconnected plan by Gunn and co-CEO Peter Safran, aiming to rival the MCU. But if Superman falters, the whole plan could wobble. DC's cautious, greenlighting only Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow so far, while shelving riskier projects like Sergeant Rock. After the Discovery-Warner Media merger and leadership shakeups, Zaslav has positioned Gunn and Safran as the new DC power duo, reporting directly to him and mirroring Marvel's successful setup. As Zaslav said, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Supergirl are big asset builders for the company worldwide. This Superman isn't just any flick, it's the litmus test for Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav's ambitious plan to reboot the DC universe after years of inconsistent efforts. With a $225 million budget, the film needs to soar past $700 million worldwide to be a real hit. An insider revealed, if it hits $500 million, it turns a profit, but $700 million is where it truly counts, via the wrap. Cavill's earlier Superman outings, Man of Steel, $670 million, and Batman v Superman, $874 million, set the bar but never launched a lasting universe. Now, David Corenswet steps into the cape, alongside Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane and Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, with a younger cast that's more fresh-faced than A-list draw. McQuarrie revealed on Happy Sad Confused that Green Lantern's powers were tricky but fun to crack. He alluded, "Green Lantern was what had come to me. Green Lantern's a tough one. The power is very challenging, and I cracked it and it was fun, and watching learn how to use that power, and giving that power a flaw, so that it was not pure invincibility. That's the thing that made him. Yeah, you have infinite power, but you only have so much battery life and that can run out at inconvenient times. That, for me, solved the whole Green Lantern problem. This flaw added real stakes. No invincible hero here. The conflict worked because Superman and Green Lantern shared amazing similarities," McQuarrie said, which led to an amazing universe-expanding resolution. Costume designs weren't the focus. Tension and stakes were. The vision was bold, fresh, and might yet inspire future DC projects. Even though fans were robbed of from the Man of Steel 2, the upcoming movies might just soothe the wound. The failed Man of Steel 2 pitch featured an amazing conflict between Superman and another Justice League member, Green Lantern. Director Christopher McQuarrie teamed up with Henry Cavill to craft a sequel that never happened but promised big drama. The existence of Zack Snyder's unfiltered epic vision of Justice League was only made possible due to the fans, and Snyder bows down to them. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share, and subscribe for more. As a tireless campaign spread through social media like a plague, DCU fans hounded Warner Bros. For years before the studio finally conceded to fan demand. The resulting Snyder's Cut with an extended 4-hour-long vision of the director's ambitious story made the fans resent WB even more for rejecting his planned 5-movie arc for Justice League. However, the director knows when not to push his luck in the ever-changing game of Hollywood musical chairs, although Snyder gives credit where it is due. The DC Extended Universe has had its fair share of problems. But the most objectionable of them was Zack Snyder's third film, Justice League, which went through hell and back to reach the audience in its purest, uncensored form. As difficult as it may have been for Snyder and the studio to find common ground, it would not have been possible without the DCU fans. The little details that stood out in the theatrical cut of the film sent a wave of dissent and anger throughout the world as fans took to social media to launch a movement titled #ReleaseTheSnyderCut. The campaign became so powerful over the years that it led to the now infamous WB shakedown in 2021 in a historic win for movie fans. In 2023, Rolling Stones uncovered a Warner Media report that revealed that the online fan campaign was bolstered by fake bot accounts that later turned dangerous, insofar as to send death threats to studio executives if they failed to greenlight the Snyder's Cut and restore his film universe.